We do demonic rituals. It's face change, gang. In front of me, the music industry, the entertainment industry is ran by the devil.
The devil runs the world. This is not a rabbit hole that I ever thought that I would find myself in. But after investigating the Billy Corgan story,
I saw what I saw. In fact, it happened twice.
And realizing how similar the details were in the testimony to that and some of the Jeffrey Epstein survivors that we've looked at.
I saw him it was almost like when he was orgasming or something. And then I saw these huge black eyes.
The cult of Baal. We are Satanists, but they call them the Illuminati.
Ritual abuse, the worship of false idols, and seeing people's faces shapeshift. Even in the P. Diddy case, is Cassie saying that when P. Diddy got angry, his eyes would turn completely black. And both P. Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein were arrested, yet nothing has ever come of it. No justice, no names, no evidence. It really seems like something has a grip not only on Hollywood, but seemingly the Western world as a whole. And rapper Lil Tony says that he saw it firsthand.
I really saw this.
I believe it.
He saw someone's face change in front of his eyes, and it proved to him that the devil is real. This channel started primarily on the UFO topic, but really its essence has always been about discovering the true nature of reality and what the hell is actually going on. And I think that this is all connected. UFOs, the supernatural world, the suppression of information, and the control of influence in modern media. And I think what we're going to look at today is just another piece of that puzzle. So with that being said, if you're new here, welcome to Polarity. My name is Josh. Please consider subscribing if you enjoy these deep, dark, weird corners of the internet. And if you're not new, I suggest you get cozy, maybe light a candle, because it's about to get a little bit dark in here.
Eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.
All right, so this is Lil Tony. He's a fairly new rapper, I guess. I hadn't heard of him before this, but he's from Atlanta. He's been rapping for about 5 years, so he's kind of new to the industry, I guess you could say. And I think that's important to his story because in this podcast, which I'll link below if you want to check out the full thing, he kind of details his rise, which started in COVID. So, you know, it's all pretty fresh to him. He's pretty young, and he's basically gone from being a nobody in prison to being exposed to these strange people with a lot of money in Hollywood, right? And I'm going to show you 2 clips. The first one here is a bit longer. This is where he's going to detail what he saw and the shapeshifter and his story. And the second clip, which is a bit shorter, but I think equally important, talks about the control structures and the influence in Hollywood. You can't get to a certain level of influence without the people who are in control taking control of you.
Understand what industry you are becoming of. Understand where you want to go. Because the music industry, the entertainment industry is ran by the devil. And I want y'all to know this. I thought it was cap. I thought the devil was cap. I thought God was cap. Now, I ain't gonna say I thought God was cap. I just thought it wasn't no Illuminati. I thought it wasn't none of that going. But what I want folks to know is, I know you probably seen the story I was telling about me getting booked for a photo shoot and having a real encounter with the devil. So,
wait, you had an encounter with the devil?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that. Can you like?
They booked me for a photo shoot. This is what made me start getting into God right before I got locked up again.
Yeah.
This is how I knew God was talking to me though. I was straddling the fence still on belief. This is why I was telling you I didn't know what to believe because I was getting into all the spirituality. I ain't know what to believe. And God sent me a real encounter. So I went up. I got booked for a photo shoot. They took me all the way up this mountain. I was on top of the mountain. We finished the photo shoot. They have OD cars. They got a 3-seater McLaren. They got a Ferrari. And I'm asking them like, how y'all get all this money? How y'all do this? They like, we do demonic rituals. I'm laughing. I'm like, no, you don't, bro. I'm like, how you get this money? Don't put me on. I'm trying to get like y'all. Like, nah, we do demonic rituals. I say, so what type of demonic ritual? He say, the Illuminati never talk to you. I'm laughing. I'm still laughing at him like, bro, you playing game. Like, why y'all playing with me? Stop playing. Like, how y'all getting this money? He like, bro, no, for real. Leonardo DiCaprio do all the initiation. I'm like, what? I'm like, who is that? What is you talking about, gang? He was like, he giving me a list of people who all did it. I'm gonna keep it PG-13. He was basically saying either you let them peg you or you do oral and you'll get whatever you want. Tell them what you want. If you want to be the next big actress, next big whoever, I can take you to somebody. And all you gotta let them do is just do what they want to do to you just for a night. Do some gay, basically do some gay. That's what he was telling me. I'm like, hell no, you playing, gang. You playing. So I'm still not trying to believe this. And he like, this when they get to laughing, they like, oh, we need to take him to the booty club. I'm like, man, stop playing with me, bro. He like, bro, I can make it happen. Now, while they doing all this, I'm trying to call my Uber. We on top of the mountain though. So I don't got no service. So I'm like, all right, I see which one needs to work on me. They take off. The people who booked me, they take off. Like I tell them, I'm like, all right, y'all can take me to y'all Korean barbecue. I'm telling them this. Cause they was telling me, they was like, when I start calling my Uber, my flight was finna take off. So they was like, man, your flight finna take off anyway. Let us just get you a hotel and you can come get some food at our Korean barbecue. I'm like, at first I was like, nah. But then I ain't had no service to get downstairs. Get down the hill.
Right.
So I'm telling them, take me down to the bottom of the mountain. When I'm not telling them this, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna let them take me to the Korean barbecue. And then when we get down there, I'm gonna just call me an Uber and go. So I tell them, like, take me down to a Korean barbecue. They're like, okay, Shmoo, good. Okay, boom. The people who booked me left. After they leave, I'm in the car with the other dude that they called up to have a photo shoot with me or take pictures, because he come up and he like to take pictures with celebrities to make him look like he was rich or famous. I get in the car with him in the 3-seater McLaren. This man, as we going down, see, on the way up, we go all the way up, like in the swivel, like all the way around the mountain. Yeah. On the way down, we take a right. So he not going the same way that we came up. So I'm like, what the hell? So then that's what I try. I'm like, okay. I'm like, take me to go get some McDonald's, gang. I'm like, Ishmael, I want to go get some McDonald's. He said, we're not going to take you to get no McDonald's. We spent all this money to get you up here. It's face change, gang. In front of me. You see Venom? Like,
yeah, like
Spider-Man?
Yeah, from Spider-Man.
Kind of like that. It wasn't like OD, like long, like the veins, OD long out his face. It was probably about this wide. Like, face change. I'm like, what the? Like, it's probably about like right here. Like, all I can say, bro, it was like, kind of like the Sandman. Like how you'll see somebody morph into something. Yeah. It's like that. It threw me all the way off. So I'm confused now. I'm like, okay. I didn't know how to get out the car. I would have been got out the car. We in the 3-seater McLaren, so it's like a button you got to push to get up out of there. Gotcha. So he backing in. Now he backing into somebody driveway. He smack a mailbox. So now he hit the button and he get up out of there. He hit the button and get up out of there. I see the button. I'm getting up out of there too. I hit the button. Guess what? It's a mailman come out of nowhere. I run up to him. I'm like, hey, bro, let me get in the back of your truck. He looking at me like, what the hell? No. I look at him. I'm like, bro, just let me get in the back of your truck, bro. Like, please, just take me down. Take me down to the bottom. Please, just take me down to the bottom. It was God. He took me down to the bottom. Like, if I were him, I wouldn't have took me down to the bottom. Some random trying to get in the back of my truck. Hell no. He took me down to the bottom, and I called an Uber, and I just left. The whole thing was just, I felt it in my spirit. As soon as I got up to the top of that mountain, it was something off.
Something wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've never seen no motion like that. Like, where I'm from, like, 100,000, that's smooth. Like, we hunt, that's hood rich. You get you 100,000, you up 100,000, get you a nice car, a little spot, you good. Like, these folk having real money.
So you knew, like, based on their stats, like, there was something wrong. And
it wasn't even that. It was the fact of how, when I got up there, first of all, that whole mountain just felt funny. Then, when it was time for me to go, it started kicking in. When I was trying to get my Uber, and I seen that they had me at the top of the mountain, no service, no nothing. And they came up here. Out of everybody, they came up to the one spot. I'm like, man, hell no.
You knew something was off.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because you even then, like you knew from that moment, like, man, I can't be doing that. Even before you were fully submitted to Christ, and now looking back on it, it's crazy how like the devil will overplay his hand, and then you like literally, this guy's like, yeah, bro, we do demonic rituals, and it's like normal, and you're like, what? That's crazy. And now you're serving the Lord, and you're just like, dude, these guys. I think there's a big encouragement there just to let, like, our battle's not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, and I really believe the devil's overplaying his hand now. And
he definitely is. Where I'm from, I ain't gonna say necessarily believe in the devil, but we don't really pay attention to the devil. Like, it's not big. We trying to get some money and stay out of the way. That's it. Get some money, get fly, stay out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For me to actually see that in my face, I was just, see, what I'm trying to say is this coming from me, bro. If you know me, you know me. If you don't know me, then the people on camera, you ain't got to believe me. I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you know me, you know I don't do no capping. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
I don't just lie. I don't just talk.
Yeah.
I really saw this.
I believe it.
And it made me, that's what like made me know that the devil and God was real. But that's what made me start to understand what is the real God. Since the devil real, what is the real God?
Yeah.
And within this last year, that was done 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But that was like a year and a half. But within this year and a half, that's what's been getting me closer to God. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you saw the darkness.
I seen it.
And now you're in the light with Jesus.
This is why I have to use my influence for good. Like how you doing. Because the only thing that's important is winning souls. And if to anybody out there who isn't Christian, I just hope you live a godly lifestyle, because greed will never get you to where you want to be.
There's so many interesting similarities in his story there that we've heard in other cases that we've looked into before on the channel. Namely, that this person's face began to shapeshift when he seemingly started getting really angry or upset about something. There seems to be this connection between a heightened state of emotion, whether it be like a sexual encounter or aggression, is when these people claim that they see eyes change or faces shift. I really wish the interviewer kind of pressed him a little bit more on these details. He kind of didn't really stay on the explanation of what he saw for very long, or maybe it was cut out, I'm not sure. Also, exactly who were these people? He got invited to some kind of photo shoot. He's been taken up a hill to take photos with, I'm assuming, like a nice city backdrop or something like this. But who were these people? He said that compared to him, who, sounds like he was doing pretty well for himself, got a fair bit of money, these people who were seemingly like him, or, similar interests, similar kind of people, but they had a noticeably amount more wealth and money than them, like crazy money, like McLarens and Ferraris and things like that. And the idea that they said to him that, you can have all of this too, as long as you let them do whatever they want to you for a night. Not only does it kind of propagate the idea of consumerism and how we are so led by the nose by materialistic things, but that very ideology is kind of used in like a negative way. Like it's used against us for what seems to be blackmail. And again, this is why I think this is not just a Hollywood issue. I think this is rampant in politics. Where is the Epstein list? Where is all the thousands of videotapes that were apparently found in the P. Diddy raid? I think the term selling your soul to the devil is real, and that these people are offered everything that they've ever dreamt of, everything that they've been brought up to think is important. It gets offered to them on a silver plate, but it comes with the condition of being controlled through blackmail. Because based on what we've heard through Epstein and P. Diddy, it seems like these things that were offered to Lil Tony, where you just got to go and do some gay shit for a night, that probably gets filmed. Because now you are controlled. And if you step out of line, your career gets ruined. These are the recurring themes that seem to be popping up through all of this stuff. And that's what Lil Tony goes into next. So we've got one more clip. This one's a bit shorter. But he speaks about how you can't have a certain amount of influence without being controlled.
In life, it's different brackets. It's a certain group of people who own everything. And when you get to a certain level of influence, you can no longer be on the fence. And what I'm saying is, if I own everything and your level of influence is getting to the point where you can put a movement together that can possibly break down my empire, you gotta go. Because it's business. This is what they say, is business. So if you're hurting my pockets, and then you have enough to not only hurt my pockets, but start building your own empire like how I did, this world ain't big enough for the both of us. It's my world. That's how they look at it. And they own everything. And we don't fight against flesh or blood. We fight against principalities and rulers in higher places. The devil is the highest ruler. Under the devil becomes his pawns. Pawns. Who runs this world? The devil. But okay, if the devil runs this world, then who else is running this world? In the physical. If the devil runs it in the spiritual, who runs it in the physical? I ain't even got to do all that. Just do your own research on who runs it in the physical. And then when you start saying, oh, they run it. Well, who else is rich? And who else is getting to this paper like them? Everybody who has influence, they ain't pushing Jesus.
Right.
They ain't pushing Jesus. You don't see Jesus on TV.
Yeah.
You see sex, money, murder.
Yeah.
That's what you see.
Yep.
So why is the people who own everything pushing sex, money, murder? And why in the Bible does it say Revelation 3:9? In Revelation 3:9, why does it say that? And you say, damn. Well, it's a certain group of people who own everything. And anybody who went against it, they died. Anybody who got a little bit of influence and push something opposite than what the people who own everything is pushing, they died. So why is that? Because Jesus is the real way. They're pushing the opposite of Jesus because they believe something other than Jesus. But Jesus is the only way.
Praise God.
Amen.
He makes such a good point there. He dances around a very tough issue that I think we're all aware of on who controls the world. I think he does a great job of kind of articulating it and also suggesting for people to go and do their own research, because that is important. Just believing what you see on the internet from a single source is kind of the root of this problem, right? It's when people do their own research when you start to really wake up and understand what's going on here. And also the way that he says, why is sex, money, murder what is pushed on the TV? Because I think it's important to realize that this is a conscious decision. Somewhere far up at the top, it is a conscious decision for it to be allowed that these ideas and themes are pumped through the airways and into the minds of an up-and-coming generation. Malleable minds that are easily influenced. Growing up in a world that seems to be teaching people how to be victims as well. Teaching people to feel like they are victims of their own circumstance, when in the reality, once you realize that you're actually the creator of your circumstance, the power comes back to you, and you now have the power to become the architect of your own life. Teaching people to be victims, teaching people to be offended about everything is essentially teaching people that they have no control over their own life. And that's perfect for the people who are in control, right? Because they'll just be able to do whatever they want, and you'll just take it like a good little boy or girl. So I'm interested to hear what you guys think about this one. I think this is just another piece to the puzzle of what we've been looking at recently. The cult of Baal, these people who seem to masquerade as Abrahamic religions on the outside, but on the inside, they're a part of this group performing strange occult rituals, sexual abuse, child abuse, likely child trafficking as well. It's a pretty dark reality, and I don't think it should be ignored because I think that just perpetuates the problem. And this is not anything new. I think this has been going on far longer than people realize. And when you start to look into it, it all makes a lot of sense. What Lil Tony said there, that it's business, of course it makes sense. These people have built an empire, and the kind of people who are coming up with influence now, they need to be controlled. They have to be managed because it's just a smart business decision, right? Why would you want to allow someone to come up and gain enough power to ruin what you have built? As dark as it is, this stuff is extremely fascinating to me, guys. If you have any other links or rabbit holes that you think I should check out, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think about Lil Tony and what he saw. And while you're down there as well, please remember to like the video because it really goes a long way in helping the channel grow. Speaking of growth, We hit 40K this week. There should be a members video coming out tomorrow with exclusive access to the new Polarity merch store. Yes, it is here, finally. So if you're a member, keep an eye out for that. You'll have first dibs on getting into the store. But we're also going to be having a celebration 40K stream on Sunday morning in Australia. So you'll have to work out where that is for you. But there'll be stuff coming up on the channel and in the Discord to let you guys know when that will be. Thank you very much for being here. I always appreciate your support, even when we get into these darker topics. I think it's important. I think it's all part of the bigger story on discovering what the true nature of reality is and what the hell is actually going on. So be good to each other, be kind, keep touching grass. You know it's important. Keep one foot out, otherwise you'll lose it. We'll see you next time, guys. Take care.
Eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.